Hey everybody, it's Rizolka, and we're back with Gabriel Night 1. I actually got it right this time. So, we were talking to Grandma. Keep talking, Grandma.
Tell me about before you met Granddaddy.
Granddaddy.
You know I was born Rebecca Wright. My daddy owned a lot of land outside of town. Peas, corn, cotton, all kinds of things. It was a good childhood. My father was very strict. He didn't much let me out of his sight.
Tell me about... Oh, and I've turned on subtitles. You probably noticed that, but oh well.
Tell me how you met Granddaddy.
Granddaddy.
I met Harrison at a church revival. There was a traveling preacher back then. A big fella named Reverend Jim. I even remember his slogan, "Come to me to find your way." Your granddad was sitting right behind me and my girlfriend Alma. And at one point, old Reverend Jim was flinging his hair around with his fire and brimstone antics. And a piece of it, one of those small add-on do's for men, went flying off.
I believe that's a
I swear,
toupee.
Harrison and I were the only ones that noticed.
Oh.
We both started laughing to beat the band. Everyone looked at us like we were a couple of loonies. It was then I knew that he was me.
Oh, that's sweet.
How you feeling these days?
Fit as a fiddle, and don't you worry your head about it.
Okay, I won't.
Just tell me anything at all.
I had your father when I was 22. The doctors told me I couldn't have any more after him, so I'm afraid I spoiled him rotten.
Oh.
Just tell me anything at all.
I never loved any man but your grandfather, and I never will.
Just tell me anything at all.
I hate to admit it, but I was a jealous little thing when your granddad and I were younger. I loved him so ferociously, and he did attract the eyes of the ladies, whether he wanted to or not.
That's why I killed him. I mean...
Just tell me anything at all.
I get lonely sometimes, but I have lots of girlfriends in the neighborhood. I call one of them if I'm feeling blue.
Everything else?
Just tell me...
I wish you'd settle down and give me a
Oh.
great grandchild.
Oh, Gran.
Unlikely.
Just tell me...
I had your father when I was 20.
Ah, yes.
Oh, no.
Alright, tell me about the Knight family.
Tell me about our family.
Oh.
Who would you like to hear about? Your granddad, your father,
Or
or your mother?
Your mother. Tell me about Granddaddy.
Tell me something about Granddad.
Your
Granddaddy.
granddad immigrated to America when he was 21. He worked his way through school, met and married me, and we had your father, Philip.
Philip usually has 2 L's in it, but oh well.
Tell me something about Granddad.
Your granddad supported me and your father with bookkeeping. I tell you what, though, I hated every minute of it. Didn't really like bookkeeping one bit.
Oh.
Maybe that was why he had the worst luck with jobs. The nights he'd come home afraid to tell me he'd lost another. And I would tell him it didn't matter to me. But he felt ashamed, Gabriel.
Oh. That's because he's a
Tell
sweet
me
man.
something about Granddad.
Harrison was only 36 when he died. Your father was 8 years old at the time. Your granddad was hit by a streetcar in the business district. Took me nearly a year to believe he was really gone.
I'm sorry, Gran.
I know you are, dear.
I know you are.
Tell me something...
Did you know that your granddad was a poet?
Hint,
He
hint.
was. He wrote the most beautiful poetry for me when we were courting. I
Oh.
always thought he should have done something with that gift. But he was such a practical man. Didn't believe in chasing after dreams.
Another hint, hint.
Tell me something about Granddad.
I don't know what
What
else
else to tell you, dear? Alright, tell me about Papa.
Tell me about my father.
Your father was my only child. How we adored him. Philip suffered from terrible nightmares, just like your granddad did. They were 2 peas in a pod.
And now you suffer for terrible nightmares.
Tell me about my father.
Interesting.
When Philip met your mother, it was love at first sight.
Oh, that was
They
quick.
were married 2 weeks later. Never looked at a girl seriously until then, and he looked at plenty.
Oh, he's a
You
bit of a
have your
hooker.
father's way with women, Gabriel. And your granddad's.
Oh, suddenly she blushed. Interesting.
Tell me about my father.
I wanted to just lay down and die when he and your mother were killed in that car crash when you were only 8.
I sense a
The
pattern.
thought of taking care of you that kept me going, Gabriel. The police say your father swerved off the road after being frightened by something. Perhaps a deer in the road or a wild cat.
A wild cat.
Tell me about my father.
I don't know what else to tell
He
him.
wanted to have a normal life. He was obsessed by that thought. He pushed Philip to go to law school. Philip was driven to art. He painted almost in a daze. He would get so inside himself when he worked.
Tell me about my father.
He always hated it that it was Margaret's money that supported the 3 of you when his painting couldn't. I kept telling him, try something more cheerful, like a landscape or 2. He couldn't do it. His work was just too dark and disturbing for the public, you know.
Oh, I know. I've seen the painting on my wall.
Tell me about my father.
I don't.
Don't know what else to tell you.
Tell me about my mother.
Your mother was Margaret Templeton when your father met her. She came from a very wealthy Creole family in New Orleans. She was beautiful and reckless. She was madly in love with your father, of course, but I also think she liked defying her family.
As some of us
Since
do.
you're so interested in family history these days, why don't you go by St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 and visit the family tomb? It would be a sweet gesture.
Maybe I will.
Alright. That's all to say to Gran at the moment. There is more, but first we're
I'm
gonna pop
going to go up
upstairs.
the attic, Gran.
Be careful of the dust.
I will, Gran, I will. I'm gonna let them dust devils eat me. Let's get this.
I think I'll take Daddy's sketchbook with me.
Sounds like a plan. Let's get some more points by reading it. Oh! Images haunt the pages of Philip Knight's sketchbooks the way... Well... Hang on. You know what? She doesn't give me enough time to speak. I'm gonna have to put the narrator back on. I only had her off so I could, not be so distracted when I was flicking through things. Go ahead.
Images haunt the pages of Philip Knight's sketchbook, the way they must have haunted his mind. The images touch a deep chord in Gabriel. So familiar are they that he finds it hard to believe they aren't from his own subconscious.
Well, that's because they kind of are. They're from his dreams. Which says he and his daddy shared dreams. And then probably also his granddaddy. Granddaddy! Yeah, let's look at
And
this.
elaborate, it doesn't seem.
That's alright. Game over. Okay, now. There's a dragon.
The ring of
The dragon needs to point at 12. Hey, dragon. Dragon, behave yourself. Come back. Stay. Stay, dragon. And then this move. Whoop. And lastly, we turn the key.
Granddaddy, you old fox.
Have no idea how I'm supposed to know how to do that. Well, I think the poem's actually supposed to be a bit of a hint, including the things that you dragged out of the German to English dictionary. Like, you know, dry means 3, draken means dragon, Mittag means midday, and that poem actually said, like 3 dragons, and there was Mittag somewhere in there, which is midday. Interesting how the poem actually meant something, eh? So, let's have a look at this.
The old photograph showed Gabriel's grandfather with 2 other men that Gabriel has not identified.
No identification. Let's read it.
The back of the photo has the following written on it. Schloss Ritter, 1925.
And
The letter is written in German, but Gabriel determines what he can about it. It was sent from a place called Schloss Ritter
In
in
Rittersberg,
Rittersberg,
West Germany.
The
Bavaria.
letter is addressed to mein Sohn Heinz
My son
and
Heinz.
signed Wilhelm Ritter. One of the reoccurring words strewn throughout the letter is the word Schattenjäger. The only
Schattenjäger.
thing that Gabriel can decipher about the letter is a sense of urgency in the handwriting and in the heavy use of quill-tipped bold strokes and underlining.
Intriguing. Oh, also while we're at it, we should probably open this.
Gabriel opens the manila envelope and finds 2 photographs.
Yay, photographs. Yay, dead
One
guy.
of the photos from Mosley is an official voodoo murders crime scene shot.
I can see that.
Graphic close-up of a victim.
Yeah, I can see that. Did I really need a definition for that? This one?
The photograph of Mosley was apparently taken upon his graduation from the police academy. He had hair then.
He had hair.
The pho-
Why she cares, I don't know. Alright. We could technically move the clock and go through this chest of drawers, but there's nothing in there. They just go, oh hey, there's Lederhosen. Ah, Lederhosen. Isn't that some pants from Germany? Alright. So, let's show some things to Gran, like this. Hey Gran, look, a
That's
photograph.
it. Take a load off, hon.
I totally will.
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
That one in the middle is your grandfather. Those other 2, I don't know.
Well, you haven't been to Germany, so that kind of makes sense if you ask me. And look.
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
No, dear. I'm afraid I don't speak a word of German.
Or do you? And while we're at it, we might as well show her Daddy's book.
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
I believe that was your father's, Gabriel. You keep it.
Oh, okay. Hey, let's scare the hell out of you.
Gabriel doesn't want to.
It was a good thought. Hey, wanna show? Look, picture of Mosley.
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
Sorry, no, Gabriel.
Wait, he's supposed to be a friend of Gabriel's from his childhood. She should recognize him.
Can we talk?
Of course.
Schattenjäger.
Have you ever heard of a Schattenjäger?
Schattenjäger.
Schattenjäger, not Jager.
I haven't heard that word in years. Goodness, you've given me a chill. Well, Granddad used to say that sometimes in his sleep.
That's a bit of a weird thing to
Really?
say in his sleep.
Do you know what it means?
Even
No,
after
I'm afraid
knowing what it
not.
means.
I asked him about it once. I don't think he answered me. Odd.
Thanks, Gran.
But yeah, no, that's a weird thing for him to say, even knowing what it means.
Do you know anyone named
It's like screaming out
Heinz
cat.
Ritter?
Cat,
Heinz
I guess.
Ritter. Oh, Gabriel. Where did you hear that name?
I found a letter in Granddaddy's clock.
I promised I'd never tell you or your father. But I suppose it doesn't matter now.
That they're dead.
Tell me, Gran.
Your granddad's name was Heinz Ritter before he came to America. He changed it to Harrison Knight legally when he arrived.
Harrison Knight is a pretty name, though.